Hey, what's up? OPERATIONiDROID here, and in this video, I'm going to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and it's a little bit of a touchy subject because there's a lot of people that have been patient, and there's a lot of people that haven't and have just been extremely rude. In this video, we're going to be talking about the release date of GBA4iOS 2.0 and why it has not been released yet as of the release of this video. You can check the description to see if it's been released yet. But anyways, in the background you're watching some gameplay of GBA4iOS 2.0. I'm playing with a Moga Ace controller, so that's why you don't see any controls on the screen. I just recorded my screen as I played with that controller, as well as sometimes you'll see me fast forward as I'm playing, which is actually a really neat feature in GBA4iOS 2.0 that's not in GBA4iOS. But that's a topic for another video. But anyways, I am a beta tester for GBA4iOS 2.0, meaning that I've had it since the beginning of September, when 40 people were allowed to beta test GBA4iOS 2.0. And when that happened, the GBA4iOS 2.0 had a supposed release date of October, the end of October. But as you all know, that did not happen. And that happened because of many reasons, and it's still not released yet because of those possible same reasons. Number one, GBA4iOS 2.0 was originally intended to be an application for iOS 6 and iOS 7 devices. Now, as iOS 7 came out, because it came out after GBA4iOS 2.0 was released to beta testers, there was an endless amount of possibilities of features that could be added to GBA4iOS 2.0, but iOS 6 was holding it back from getting those new features implemented in iOS 7. So the developer Riley Testa decided to scrap iOS 6 and just make GBA4iOS 2.0 iOS 7 only, which in my opinion was a good move because it completely enabled the application to go to greater bounds than it was before. I myself had the application when it was iOS 6 and iOS 7, and when it became iOS 7 only, it just became a whole other application with a new UI, new features, endless possibilities with the new iOS 7 features that could not have been added if it was still trying to hold on to iOS 6. So for example, one thing is the iOS 7 made for iPhone controllers, and the ability, if you're jailbroken, to play GBA4iOS 2.0 with a PlayStation 3 controller. Now, this transition definitely did slow down the progression of GBA4iOS 2.0, but it was for the best because it allowed development for more features to be added to GBA4iOS 2.0, which meant more testing for the beta testers. But I know a lot of you guys may be wondering, how come only 40 people are allowed to beta test? Why can't everyone beta test and he just updates it as people beta test? Well, GBA4iOS 1.6 was not on the App Store, as you all are aware of, and you had to download it over the air on on websites like iEmulators. So Apple does not take too kindly to emulation, and that's why they're not allowed on the App Store, nor do they like when people download it in other methods like over the air, and that's why GBA4iOS 1.6 cannot be updated anymore, and that's why you have to set your date back to download GBA4iOS 1.6, because that was Apple's countermeasure to allowing people to download that. So that means that Riley Testa had to allow people to beta test through his own Apple developer account, which he pays for yearly and only has 99 spots, and he gave 40 of those away to beta test for GBA4iOS 2.0, and the others he had already used for other projects that he does. So he basically just expended his yearly Apple developer account for the development of this application, which he doesn't get any compensation for besides the feedback from you guys, which is mostly positive, but there are some bad beans out there. But anyways, I digress. So that is why not everyone can have GBA4iOS at the moment, but they soon will. On to some brighter news, GBA4iOS 2.0 will be released soon, and there's no exact date for it because as soon as it's complete, it's going to be released. development of the actual application is almost complete. We can see here one of Riley Tested's tweets where he said he's almost done adding all the full features to the application and will be releasing it to beta testers soon. And in another tweet you can see where he says he's adding the last feature of GBA4iOS 2.0 into the application and will be giving it to beta testers soon. So the actual development of GBA4iOS 2.0 is almost complete, but there's one more thing to be done, and that's the actual distribution of GBA4iOS 2.0, because as I mentioned, Apple does not take too kindly to emulation. So that means that Riley Tested have to find a new way to distribute GBA4iOS 2.0, which can't be the same way that GBA4iOS 1.6 was, and a way that he can ensure that Apple will not take it down for a good amount of time, and cannot take it down with updates like iOS 7.1 that's coming out soon. So if you look at his new website, GBA4iOSapp.com, there's an FAQ section, and there you can find that it says GBA4iOS will be released when it's complete. And the last step is finding a distribution method so everyone can download it without Apple taking it down. So this is actually his new website where GBA4iOS 2.0 will be available for download when it's released. So you might want to bookmark that, as well as you can see a trailer for GBA4iOS 2.0 which was made by Riley Tested, but may have a similar feel to videos that you've seen which are like mine. He actually told me that my video's style kind of inspired the way that he made that video, which is pretty cool. But anyways, I digress again. But basically what's left for development of GBA4iOS 2.0 is getting the last update to beta testers so that they can fully test the final application and make sure that there's no bugs whatsoever like there was in GBA4iOS 1.6. So if Apple does cut the ability to update GBA4iOS 2.0, that it will be complete and there won't be any needs for updates besides adding more features. And finally, there needs to be a way to distribute the application so that everyone can download it and you won't need, for example, a developer account that's $99 a year like Riley Tested has. So that's pretty much what is up with the development of GBA4iOS 2.0. I really appreciate everyone that has been patient with the application. It has taken longer than expected to develop, but that was kind of to be expected with an application that's not being sent to the App Store to easily be downloaded, but finding a new method to get it to people on their iDevice without the App Store, which is quite difficult. So that is pretty much it on the bright news of this GBA4iOS 2.0 coming out soon. When it does come out, you will also be able to have any other application from sites like iEmulators or NDS for iOS. So you now will be able to have two emulators on your iDevice, which is actually pretty cool. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can assure you guys that developer Riley Tested is working as hard and as quickly as he possibly can to get this application out to you guys. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video and you want some more information on GBA4iOS 2.0, then you can check out one of the two videos on the screen, as well as if you want to be the first to know when GBA4iOS 2.0 is coming out, then you should definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I will be making a tutorial on how to get it the second that it is released. But besides that, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, and see you in the next video.